Hello, this is Father David. Here on the second day of Christmas, the 26th of December, with the feast of the Synaxis of the Holy Theotokos. And today we have a contribution, the beginning of the contributions from Nicole Rokas. And she speaks of the Theotokos, of course, in this chapter, as embodying the qualities of holy womanhood, she says. Purity, faithfulness, attentiveness to the voice of God, but that this is not a simple passivity. This isn't something that she, as she describes, as mere niceness. Now, as a woman, she speaks of, how this is played out in her own life, that aspect of, being a good little girl growing up, but both within her experience and that of many Christians, male and female. There's a sense that this submission, purity, faithfulness, attentiveness to the voice of God, all of this is just mere niceness. Just, don't make any waves, don't bother anyone, don't ever, stand up for yourself. She cites, Nicole does, the vignette of the Theotokos at the wedding at Cana, prodding her son that they've run out of wine. And St. John Chrysostom even mentions this in a sermon, saying that she was very assertive. And Christ, though he turns to her and says, in a voice that is, Ms. Rokas doesn't go into this, but a voice that is very difficult sometimes for modern American ears to hear, "Woman, what have I to do with you?" You could also translate this, "What is that to you and me?" This is, far from simply, putting a woman in her place, but this is saying, Christ is saying, my hour has not yet come, and we are not involved in this, you and I. Nevertheless, at his mother's insistence, at his mother's words, at his mother's request, he accomplishes this first of his signs. She speaks out to the Archangel Gabriel with, let us not forget, many of the same, if not the identical phrase that the righteous Zechariah spoke out when the Archangel Gabriel appeared to him about his own miraculous family growth that was going to happen through St. John the Forerunner, born to the righteous Elizabeth in their old age. How can this be? She says this. How can this be, since I am a virgin? But she is not struck dumb. For although she is bold and forward with the angel, yet there must be a sort of sense of her purity, of the purity of her intention, of her questioning, that it is not done in any kind of defiance or doubt, but simple inquisitiveness. This is for Ms. Rokas and for us an example of why the Theotokos is perfectly, we would say, balanced. She is brought into perfect peace and equilibrium with her son. She is harmonized by God's grace to be more honorable than the cherubim and more glorious than the seraphim. And in fact, I've heard it said many times that Christ is himself, of course, the God-man, and yet, at the same time, the Theotokos, although Christ is fully human, he is also God and divine and human. The Theotokos is the greatest of all the mere humans. She is fully human and in no way possessing a divine nature by nature, the way her incarnate Son is and has. And yet she, as a mere human being, has become for us the great example, one who is able to act in cooperation, boldly, decisively, purposefully, with God, and yet at the same time is able to do so in perfect freedom. And this is ultimately what we would say, that she is, in this chapter entitled The Example of the Theotokos, truly our great example. This is truly for us to understand that true freedom is to be able to choose the will of God freely. This is true freedom. It flies in the face of our modern culture, and yet this is in spite of everything else that society would throw at her, and Ms. Rokas goes into a lot of what this will mean in some of her other meditations. She chooses boldly and courageously to say to God, yes, let it be to me according to the word of the archangel, that I will give myself willingly, boldly, courageously to this act of God. So may God bless you as we continue to go through the Christmas season. Lord willing, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.